Yo, what's up everyone? OJ here and welcome to the new style of reviews that we'll be doing on PlayerEssence. And today we're starting off with a bang because we have Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna, the Golden Country to review on the channel. This is the physical copy of the game that comes with the cartridge and also the expansion pass for the separately sold Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I know a lot of you guys were kind of confused on that. Or you can buy the digital version of the game, which is just the digital version with the expansion pass for the content in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So just know that there is a little bit of a difference there. But you guys aren't here to talk about that for the most part. We're here to talk about Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna the Golden Country, and the review of the game, what I think about it, content in there, and everything. So with all of the first part out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right in. And starting off with the story of the game. So Torna the Golden Country is set 500 years before the events of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and sees Adam, the legendary hero, along with Hugo, who's the Emperor of Mor Ardain, in addition to Laura, who is the driver of Jin. And basically you are romping through what happened leading into the events of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's a story that's very bittersweet, guys. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to sit here and be robotic and tell you guys this and that about the story, but here's what I will say about it. It is a tragic, but at the same time very enjoyable story that has still some questions to be answered. Now you're going to get a lot of great information as you're playing through the game. You're going to see familiar landscapes, you're going to see familiar scenes if you've already played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The pieces from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 fit into Torna the Golden Country very well, and you're going to be engaged throughout the whole thing. You're going to see a side of Malos that, even though he was pretty crazy in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you're going to see another side of him in Torna the Golden Country, and it's going to be unexpected. The classes that you had with the story, with what you do with Jin and the fate that he has, Adam and his fate, and what goes on with Emperor Hugo and the Blades is absolutely amazing. And it's one of the things in terms of Xenoblade games that have kept my interest the most. I don't think I've played another Xenoblade game to where I was so engaged in the story. Outside of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I know people love Xenoblade Chronicles 1, but this one, because it wasn't as long with the actual game itself, this one and the story just really intrigued me and captured me more than anything. And you're going to see some things and you're going to experience some things in the story that's never been done before in a Xenoblade Chronicles game. Once again, it is a story of triumph. It's a story of the tragic tale of what happened to the Tornan Titan and what happened to the great kingdom of Torna. So story-wise, you're not going to explore as many parts or locales as you would say Xenoblade Chronicles X or Xenoblade Chronicles 1 or Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but the story has just enough different locations, characters, and elements to it to really make you appreciate what they've done here. So without spoiling any of the story, it's fantastic, it's gripping, it's moving. You're going to be happy, you're going to be sad, you're going to love certain things, you're going to hate certain things. Not hate as in the actual hate of the story, but hate what happens in things. It's just a roller coaster ride that was ridiculously enjoyable throughout the whole time I played it. So yes, the story is absolutely phenomenal and it's going to be one of the highlights of the game for you. Now let's move into presentation, graphics, sound, voices, all of that stuff. I kind of want to put it together in the presentation of the game, and this is where Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna the Golden Country really shines. This is the best looking, best voice acted, best presentation, easiest to follow Xenoblade game that I've ever played. In the past, there's been a lot of Xenoblade games where there's a lot of complex elements to them and you quite don't understand what to do. Sometimes they give you some good tutorials to where you'll pick up on things, and yes, there is Xenoblade Chronicles 1 that has that and Xenoblade Chronicles X, but this was the first game that I played in the franchise that really let you, presentation-wise, make sure you understand what you're going to be doing in the game with a whole tips menu, great visual cues battle, and just overall, it's just a sleek package. You also have to remember with this game, they're using a brand new rendering engine in parts of the game or with some of the game, so you're going to get a sharper graphical presentation than we've ever seen for any Xenoblade Chronicles game. It looks better than Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the base game, Torna Golden Country that is. It looks absolutely phenomenal in the cutscenes and just the aesthetics and the visuals. The presentation is top notch and the best that they've ever done in a Xenoblade Chronicles game. It is phenomenal how they kind of put everything together, but even the sharpness of the characters and what goes down. And I don't talk about voice acting much when it comes to games, but this was probably the best voice tracked English one or best dub that I have seen for any Xenoblade Chronicles game. All of the voices just sounded amazing. They were all really good. The lines and each character, how they acted, really fit their part. For example, Mithra had this somewhat like urban edge to her when she talked. Like she said, there's like low-key shade at one point and things like that. The banter between the different blades in this game is just the best that I've seen. In previous Xenoblade games, they kind of repeated a lot of things, and this one is no different in the presentation, but the lines that they say to each other and what they do is just a lot better than what we've seen in the past from other Xenoblade games. So that completely caught me off guard, and it was just much better than what we've seen before. So presentation wise, I really can't fault them on anything. The sound effects are amazing when you topple, break, launch, smash someone, when you go into a chain attack, when you burst orbs. Everything just really fits nice and clean. You never get a feeling with the sound that's like, oh, that's out of place, or that didn't sound good, or maybe that didn't just sound right. Everything always just fits. When you burst the orbs, when you do a burst combo, everything is just flows right there in line. Driver combos, blade combos, everything fits. The sounds are great. The presentation, the graphical edge is really good and the best that we've seen for a Xenoblade Chronicles game. I'm blown away by what they've done here. So that wraps it up for story and presentation. Next, we're going to move into the main thing here, what everyone wants to know, the gameplay. How is it compared to other games? Now with gameplay, guys, this is my important thing when it comes to games. Shocking, huh? The gameplay is the most important, and this is where Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna the Golden Country absolutely shines. This is the best plain Xenoblade Chronicles game from a battle standpoint that I have ever played, and let me give you multiple reasons why. What they've done is that they've removed a lot of the annoyances that some people had with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 with the core crystal system, always managing different blades, releasing them, getting them, trying to get rare blades, so many different common ones. They completely got rid of that core crystal system, where some might not like that. But then again, what they've done is they streamlined it. You can actually pick between drivers and also blades. That is a huge thing in the Xenoblade Chronicles franchise, because in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 you can only pick your driver and then your blade gives you support, and then when you do a blade combo they'll jump in on the action. That is not the case with Torna the Golden Country. In this game you can actually use Jin, you can use Mithra, you can use them and auto attack and do combos and do everything that a driver can do, and you can swap back and forth. And one of the biggest things which makes this battle system better in my opinion is how you inflict the different status effects that Xenoblade Chronicles 1 implemented first with breaking, toppling, then Xenoblade Chronicles 2 with launching, then smashing. Those are all based on switching between drivers and blades, so it creates a flow to combat to where you can easily break, topple, launch, and smash them, and also combo that up with fusion combos when you do your blade combos in there. So not only is it the easiest playing one because they have a full tutorial to where it tells you what you need to do, and you even have quests that tell you how to do blade combos and the fusion combos and everything like that. So you even have quests, side quests that is, that help you with that. So once you're done with all of that, you just feel like you have complete control control of the battlefield in the gameplay. And to me, I have never had a Xenoblade Chronicles game that has explained things clearly enough with actual side quests and put everything together in the package Torna the Golden Country does. It just creates the best playing Xenoblade game that I have ever encountered. And on top of that, once again, they've removed a lot of the annoying elements. For example, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you had to go through a whole blade combo in order to get one orb. So it kind of took a while. If you wanted to get a full burst combo, you're pretty much going to be fighting super high level enemies, and it's just going to take a bit of time. In Torna, they've removed that amount of time, and all you have to do is just link up a level 1, level 2, and level 3, and bam, you've got yourself 3 orbs. Now, if it's in the designated path to where you get the extra orb in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you'll do more damage, but in this game, you don't have to. That's the biggest thing. You don't have to go in that order in order to get an orb, in order to do more damage and burst the orb when you use your chain god. So, of course, there's a lot of advanced mechanics that I'm talking about here, and if you haven't played Torna the Golden Country, you might not know everything that I'm talking about, but I am kind of doing this review thinking that you guys do know a little bit about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and chain attacks and things like that. So, it's just amazing. It's a great system. It plays so good with how you attack, auto attacks, how you put together your driver combos and your blade combos. Everything just flows so much smoother than any other Xenoblade game that I've played, which in my opinion makes it the best Xenoblade battle system that I have ever played, because it has a lot of the elements of the other games, but then it also takes away the frustrations of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. You have your team of Adam, Mithra, Minoff, Jin, Laura, Hayes, Hugo, Bridget, and Aegeon, and you can switch between any of those characters even when you're out on the battlefield. Not during battles, but when you're out there, you don't have to go into the menu. So a lot of quality of life improvements as well. And probably one of the biggest changes too with the battle system is that I love how they have the rear guard and then they have the back guard. So they have like the vanguard system in there, to where even when your blade is behind you, or even when your driver is behind you, they're still doing attacks as well, and you can level up those ones too. That adds a whole nother dynamic that we didn't see in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and obviously wasn't there in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. So between all the different characters, you can pick 9 in total to where you can actually play front and rear guard, and different abilities that you can have there. It's just the best. I can't think of another Xenoblade Chronicles game to me that was more slick, that was more intuitive, that was easier to pick up and play. So yes, obviously I absolutely love the battle system. It's very good and probably the strongest thing in Torna the Golden Country. Alright guys, we're wrapping up this review, and I normally don't do numbers on this one, but there are people who do like number scores, so we'll go forward with them, and I'll also go forward with my own personal recommendation. If you've watched the review, obviously you guys know I'm going to recommend the game. It is very, very good. You should pick it up. It's $40 if you want the digital standalone version. If you have the expansion pass with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it's $30 there. So my overall score for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna the Golden Country on the Nintendo Switch is a 9.5 out of 10. It is very good. It's probably my favorite game on the Nintendo Switch, one of my favorite RPGs of all time. And if there were some negatives that I do want to point out in the game, is that sometimes when there's a lot of enemies on screen, there is a bit of slowdown with the frame rate. So the frame rate can take a hit, but most of the time it's running good and it's playing really good. And even with the frame rate being lowered in some cases, it's still very playable. Also with the length of the game, guys, length is always good there. You get plenty of value and content. It took me 55 hours to beat the game on my first run. There's a new game plus mode that adds a bunch of stuff for you to do to your blades, and also there's some special enemies, some super bosses that you can fight as well. So it's going to take you well more than 50 hours to get everything in this game, so it's well worth the value and content, and it's pretty much a no-brainer to go out there and pick up if you're an RPG fan on the Nintendo Switch. So what'd you guys think of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna the Golden Country? Are you guys going to pick this one up? Let me know what you liked about the game, what you didn't like, and what you liked about the review, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you guys. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please make sure you check out the links in the description below. Got Facebook and Twitter. Give us a like, follow, social media. Really helps us out. Also, hit that like button if you did like our reviews, and we'll definitely do more of them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys for the next one. Peace.